Hey angels, Miss Quiet Queen, and welcome to part 3 to Dreams, Visions, and Nightmares. I really should say lucid dreams because most of the dreams that I have are lucid dreams. I've been able to do that for a long time. Let me jump straight into it. Before I tell you about this particular dream that I want to tell you about, I need to tell you events leading up to it. Many of you already know I'm from Michigan. I went through hell when I was living in Michigan. The last couple of years that I was in Michigan, I faced homelessness. I faced my children. Their father kidnapped my children. I didn't know where they were. And then I lost them. I lost custody of them after I got them back. I surely lost custody because I lost my job, because some ex-boyfriend put salt in my gas tank and made it hard for me to get to work. So I kept being late, and I just, time clock violation is a horrible thing. So I lost my job. And when I lost my job, I couldn't pay my bills. When I couldn't pay my bills, I couldn't pay my rent. And when I couldn't pay my rent, I got kicked out. When I got kicked out, of course, my ex-husband was going at it because he didn't want to pay child support, so he was trying to think of anything he could to take the children away, because nothing else he would do or say to me would bother me. But when it came to my children, he knew that was my soft spot. So he got the children taken away from me, and I was just going through so much. When I look back on that, angels, I realized I was having a nervous breakdown. But I'm here to tell you, if I can get through all that I went through, you can get through whatever it is that you're getting through right now. Now, I'm not saying my situation is any tougher than anybody else's, but I do know this: God puts a burden on no one more than they can bear. And whatever it is that you're going through, you also agreed to it when you incarnated into this on this plane. So I went through all of that, and it was hard, but I did it. And needless to say, I got my children back after I came here in Ohio, and I worked hard and got them back. But in the meantime, I would do, like I said, I was having a nervous breakdown, and the way I know that is I look back on the things that I did. I used to do stuff like, I know y'all gonna think this is wild, but I would wash my hands with Ajax. And when I was doing it, I thought it was completely normal. Who in the hell washes their hands with Ajax? I was losing my mind. When I was at work, I was, falling asleep at my machine. I worked in a plant, and everybody would tease me and laugh and talk about me, and my clothes be falling off. Oh, look at her, her butt crack showing, and oh, she's a hot mess. I was having a freaking breakdown. I lost my children, I lost my job, I lost my house. I was living in my van, sitting in the back seat, pouring water over my head to wash up. I had to go into McDonald's to use the bathroom. My family believed in tough love. My father lived in Alabama, so I couldn't really run to him because he would allow me to live there, but he was like, you just got to get yourself out of it. My mother, I love my mother, but I did not like her. God rest her soul, no disrespect, and she knows this. But she was a tough one, and she was like, you got yourself in and you get yourself out. I ain't gonna go into everything, but I went through some stuff. When I say I went through it, y'all, I went through it. So anyway, that when I was doing things like that, it felt normal. When I look back on it, like, wow, I was really gone. But I'm sane now. I'm back. I got all my pieces. And I'm in a wonderful relationship with a man. I never felt this kind of love before in my life. My husband and I get along very well. We don't argue a lot. We disagree. But we don't yell and scream at each other. And I love that, and that's new for me. But anyway, I wanted to tell y'all that because you will understand this dream. The people that were so-called my family, friend, I really didn't have any friends there. I never really had any girlfriends in Michigan. Here in Ohio I do, but I never did there. People hurt me, and I wanted to just hurt everybody that was hurting me, and I wanted to, everyone that I felt should have helped me that didn't help me, I wanted them to feel bad. And when I think about it now, it was my problem. I can't blame anybody but me. I can't expect for someone to do stuff for me just because I would do it for them. But anyway, when I came to Ohio, I was still feeling very bitter. My sister and my brother's widow came here to Ohio, and then my sister came back to Michigan and said, "Come on, girl, you living in your van, just come on, stay with me." And I was working 2 part-time jobs, making minimum wage, and I didn't know what I was going to do. The court said you got to get up enough money to get a house, and in order for us to give you your children back. But I couldn't make it, and my sister was like, "Come on, I got a plan." So she took me there. She brought me here to Ohio, and I've been here ever since. And I got myself together, got my children back. So, yeah. She's my earth angel, that's what I call her. But I wanted to make everybody else suffer because they didn't help me the way I thought they should. So, not that that's a good excuse. So what I did was, I made this, that's when I started getting into more metaphysical stuff. Really, really into it. When I came here, and I got this big, large book called I called it the Book of Shadows, but, and I put in a circle, and I put people's names in it that, I know this is bad, y'all, but I wished death on some of these people, because I was so, my mind was gone. At the time my sister brought me here, my children, I still didn't have custody of them. I had to travel back and forth from Ohio to Michigan and back again for several months, twice a month, to see a counselor, or friend of the court counselor, whatever you want to call it. And I was just angry at the world, all these people that hurt me so bad, and I was so kind to everybody, and I didn't understand why everybody was so mean to me. And finally I said, fuck this, I'm paying them all back. So I learned how to do a little hocus pocus, and I put everybody's name, even certain family members, put their names in this little circle, and I had this red candle and dropped red candle wax. Y'all, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I know I had some books, and I was reading, and when you're really, really angry in a sincere way, and I know that this sounds redundant, but I was just so hurt and had all these mixed emotions. You're very powerful. You're more powerful and strong than you know. So I was over my sister-in-law's house, my brother's widow, because my brother passed away, and with all her children. And I was sleeping in the room, and I did this little ritual I just told you about, and then I went to sleep because I had to get up and go to work the next morning. And as I was sleeping, I was falling asleep, and I was hearing this music. Y'all know what that morbid music sounds like? It sounds like a low vibe. It's sort of like one of them organs. I cannot remember the name of those instruments. They had the long pipes. Y'all know what I'm talking about? The real long pipe. They're old Gothic type of instruments. You see them in old Catholic churches or old black and white movies. I heard that music. It was on a low vibration, and it was very dark. It was very morbid. And I heard that, and then before, I was hearing that as I was falling asleep, and throughout this entire lucid dream, it was a lucid dream now, and I was riding on a bike, and I saw police lights and I saw my cousin, my uncle. I don't know why I saw him. He still lives in Michigan, and he was like, you know, the curfew is almost 10 o'clock. You know, the curfew, they out here to enforce the curfew. So everybody in this dream, everybody had a curfew. Everybody had to be in somewhere at 10 o'clock. Now, I think that's symbolic. I think maybe my uncle was someone that my brain chose to be the gatekeeper of this realm and the next realm that I was going to. And so after he left and I saw these police cars, I went into this cemetery. It was pitch black. It was so black I could barely see my hand in front of my face. So I walked through in this dream, in my lucid dream. I knew what I was doing. I didn't understand why I was in this graveyard. I think it had something to do with me wishing harm on the people that I put in that circle. So I walked through the graveyard. You know how some graveyards, they have the office in the graveyard where you would go in and, you know, handle your business, your affairs. And there was this man in there, and the music was playing. And this man, he looked like he was dead. Have you ever seen a movie where they showed a picture of somebody that was dead? His skin was really, really pale, and he had black rings under his eyes, and his eyes was kind of a little bit bloodshot, and lips was blue. You could tell he was dead. And he was sweeping. He had one of them long brooms with them push brooms. And he was just sweeping, and he wouldn't say anything to me. And I'm sitting there looking at him, and every once in a while he'd look up at me, and he'll just shake his head. He had this disgusting look on his face, like, what is she doing? And he would just keep sweeping, and the music would play, and it would get a little bit louder, and he would just keep sweeping, and he would stop every once in a while and just kind of look over at me and stare at me. And he looked at me really, it scared me, because I knew that I wasn't asleep. I wasn't in slumber. I was someplace for real. I was at a graveyard. I was there, and now that I look back on it, I realized that I was there because he was going to answer my question about these people, or because I was so strong in what I was doing and my conviction of hurting these people that hurt me. It was people, the guy that put salt in my car to make my car break down, the chicks at work that was jealous of me and spread horrible, nasty rumors about me at work. You know, just different people that I felt just really hurt me so bad, and all of that. So I think that I went to that graveyard, and he was the gatekeeper of that graveyard. And then he scared me so bad, I ran out. And as I was running out, he said, "Hey, they're looking for you. The police are here. They're looking for you." And I just kept on running. I'm like, oh my God, it was too much for me. So I think the police he was talking about were the guardians of what I was trying to do. Let me tell you something. Magic ain't nothing to play with. Don't play with it. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't have anybody to work on it to help you, don't do it. You know, I'm solitaire. I don't work with people. I don't like that. But be careful, you know. Have people help you if you can. But otherwise, don't just do things out of emotion. Because I didn't know what was going to happen. But anyway, that's my lucid dream. And the moral of this story is just be careful and don't react out of emotion, especially if it's anger, because anger never gets you anything positive. And needless to say, some of these people that I had in the circle, they suffered. I don't think it was from me, because by me not going through what I was supposed to go through at that graveyard, I didn't sign the deal, you know. So just regular things happen to people that hurt me. But anyway, if you have any questions, of course you can ask. I can feel that my videos are getting deeper and deeper. I'm opening up more and more because you can't feed a baby meat. So, and this is therapeutic for me, as I said before. So I thank you, angels, so much for listening to me and being so kind. And no matter what or how you feel or what anybody does or says to you, please always, always, always stay in the light.